Hello and welcome back to my channel. For this card, I am using the small mini Slimline dies, and for this I have cut out two different sizes from watercolor paper. I have the Make Lemonade stamp set, and I have Distress Oxide in Squeezed Lemonade. To start with, I'm just taking my little lemon and I am stamping it all over my panel, kind of randomly, and I'm also doing a couple in groups of two. Now that that's done, I'm taking my Distress Oxides in Mustard Seed and Squeezed Lemonade, and I am squishing them down onto a stamp block. I'm going to use these as watercolors. Now here, I just have a water brush, and for that first lemon, I did way too much color, so I am trying to lighten it up a little bit. But basically all I'm doing is creating a light wash of the yellow all over my lemons. If you guys watched my last two videos, you'll know that I've been on a fruit kick. I'm good, I think, maybe. My next couple of cards will be something entirely different, not fruit at all. So if these weren't your speed, don't worry, my next one might be. I'm using my mustard seed to paint in darker areas for each of the lemons. I just wanted to give each one of them a little bit of dimension. I don't want to go overboard because this is just like a background, and I didn't need to draw that much attention to the lemons in the background. I also should point out that the lemon clusters, the two lemons together, I only painted the top one first, and then once that was dry, I went in to paint the lemons that were behind it. And the reason for this is if you paint both of them together, the colors will just kind of run into each other. So if you're adding any kind of shading or anything, it's not going to show up. It's not going to stay in the same spot. All right, because I felt like I needed a little bit more color variation and depth to my lemons, I pulled out milled lavender. And if you don't know anything about color theory, check out Sandy Allnock. She's a great teacher for that. Now, here is a complete waste of my time, for the most part. I believe this is Goldenrod. It's Prismacolor pencil, which, any color pencil would have probably worked for this. I just tried to add a little bit more color to my lemons and like a little bit of texture. The texture you can't see. You can kind of tell that I did something additional to the little pairs of lemons together because the back one does stand out a little bit more from the front one. But anyway, here is my bigger panel, and I have smushed my Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide onto my stamp block, and I'm just creating loose watercolor lines. I'm not trying to go for perfect here. I actually wanted it to have kind of a flowy, hand-painted look, and I'm only using the grid just to kind of keep my lines fairly evenly spaced. Again, was not going for perfection here. I actually really liked this look, and I don't know why I haven't done it sooner. There is something quite freeing about doing something and your intention is not for it to be perfect. In fact, you do not want it to be perfect. And I know maybe it's just me because I tend to strive for perfection, even though I will never and have never achieved it. But anyway, here I'm using that same green, and I'm loosely painting leaves. These aren't perfect. These aren't even super detailed. I just needed a little bit of green on that middle panel just to kind of tie it all together. Now for my sentiment, I am pulling out this Critters in the Jungle stamp set. And I am going to use the stamp, You're the Best. But I'm just using You're the. And then for the rest of my sentiment, I am using Henry's ABCs, and I have cut out the letters for the word zest. For these, I have two sets. I am using my 2 shades of yellow distress ink to ink blend over the letters. I'm doing kind of a ombre. Is it ombre when it's multiple colors, or is it gradient? I always forget. Anyway, it's lighter at the top, darker at the bottom. It blended in too much with my panel this way though. So for my second set, I'm just coloring them in black. You could cut them out of black cardstock. It's one of the cardstock colors that I seem to go through the most. And for some reason, I don't replace it often enough. So I'm just coloring it with the black marker I have available to me at this time. After that's done, I glue the black letters behind the yellow letters, but kind of offset to give them the look of a shadow. And look, you guys, my black mark on my beautiful panel. Now, my heart dropped when I first seen this, but I have a sand eraser. Let me tell you, that was a lifesaver, because when I get done erasing this, because it's such a thick cardstock, not cardstock, it's watercolor paper. There you go. Because it's so thick, I sanded it right off. You can't tell. And my card was saved. I did not want to have to do that all over again. Anyway, point of that, get yourself a sand eraser. If you don't have one, you need it. You can thank me later. All right, after all my pieces are assembled, my card is complete. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!